There isn't, I can't remember a day since the pandemic, maybe, that I haven't woken up and thought to myself, when are we getting a How to Lose Your Guy in 10 Days sequel?
So it's not just me?
Yeah, it's not just you,
That's
man.
awesome.
I think there's a lot of us. I think a lot of us are in that boat.
Yeah.
And, when we would ask the question, Paramount says they're going to put out 30 movies a year. How are they going to do that? How can we forget the IP goldmine that is How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days?
Hey, it counts as one. Either way.
It does count as one. Coming to us from Variety, who writes, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days sequel sets up at Paramount, Kate Hudson to produce. And they write the following: How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days sequel is in the works at Paramount, with original star Kate Hudson attached to produce the project. Variety can report exclusively. Development on the sequel is in early stages, with the cast of several key creative roles yet to be selected, according to a source close to the project. The intention of the filmmakers and the studios to have Hudson and her co-star from the original, Matthew McConaughey, reprise their roles. The project is currently seeking a screenwriter, so casting will depend on the take. All right. So the idea is to do a sequel with the original cast of How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I have to ask, why? Why? Now, look, by the way, I myself do not think How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is a terrible movie, but a lot of other people do think it was a terrible movie. Like, if we go over and take a look at the numbers, the Rotten Tomatoes score was 42%. 42%, the last I checked. 42. The production budget was a paltry $50 million, and actually didn't do bad for itself. For a production budget of $50 million, made $177 million. Not exactly a global monsoon of box office success, but it made a little bit of money. And listen, it also cannot be denied that, it's got a little bit of a cult following status, considering the fact that this movie is 14 years old? No, 24 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
23.
Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Even if you haven't seen it, if somebody says How to Lose a Guy in 10, the romantic comedy, Matthew McConaughey,
Right.
Everybody knows it. So there's something to be said there. And listen, I adore Kate Hudson. I adore her. And I always have loved Matthew McConaughey. So that's all good. But in the grand new exalted era of David Ellison, we've gotten a new Jackass movie, and we're going to get a How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days sequel. They've got more on the plate, and more is coming. Make no mistake. I'm being a little bit facetious. But and I get it. There's been a bit of a resurgence, if you will, a McConaissance, if you will,
Yeah.
of bringing back older IP. And listen, again, the name How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days itself carries some value. But once again, you go back and you look at the numbers. Generally, it wasn't super well received. It's not like it was some huge, massive success.
It wasn't one of the better, romantic comedies.
No, and that was in the golden age. That was the golden age of rom-coms, right?
Yeah.
From there to about 2015 was like a golden era for rom-coms.
I think Notting Hill got better reviews.
On top of all that, right now is not a golden age for rom-coms.
Yeah.
And I would love to see some good rom-coms come back, to be honest with you, but now is not the golden age for rom-coms. So, look, who am I kidding? It's Matthew McConaughey, right? I'm going to be there to watch this movie when it opens and give it a shot. But I just don't know about the wisdom of making it. Anyway, Rob, you saw this news. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is coming back, and they're going to try to get the original cast. What do you think about it?
Well, because it's Paramount, it could be the Top Gun Maverick of How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days movies. But yeah, look, I get it. Everyone is risk averse, and frankly, I've always been a Kate Hudson fan because Almost Famous is one of my favorite movies of all time. And she's gotten nothing but more beautiful as the years have gone by. I think the movie, when she was in that film with Hugh Jackman last year or this year, I guess it was this year.
Oh yeah, the one about Neil Diamond.
Yeah,
the Neil Diamond impersonator. Yeah,
I thought she's never looked better. So I'll watch anything she's in.
Song Sung Blue, I think.
Song Sung Blue, yeah.
Song Sung Blue, that was it.
And it again, to me, it all comes down to do they have a good script and a great story?
Right now, they don't have a script at all. They haven't even hired a screenwriter yet.
Well, that's the thing. I'm like, what is the impetus for doing something like this? When you could pick a new
films,
like, why not give us a new teaming of Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey in a new story that is relevant to the modern age? You know,
kind of like the way that Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan used to do, right? They just didn't do a bunch of sequels that people just liked them together,
right? And
they kept appearing. I think that idea, Rob, is a great idea. If you want to capture a little bit of the Renaissance or the memories of How to Lose a Guy, make a new modern rom-com with the same two people, but don't make it a sequel to that one.
Well, and what's so interesting is we now live in this world where people are talking about, you know, younger people aren't dating, no one's getting laid anymore. Make a really interesting modern comedy of manners about what is life like today. You know, and if these characters never stayed together after the movie or whatever the heck happened between them, and if they're getting back together, I think there's a lot of real relevant stories that could be told. That who doesn't love Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey today? Everybody loves them. And if you were to write something that was really funny, that really had a lot to say about today, I think, though, the problem is the writers today are so worried about how, especially comedies, everybody's so worried about offending whatever groups of people they're offending, that it's really difficult. I'm waiting for all the great comic talents of today. The Nora Ephrons. Where's the new Nora Ephron of today? Or where's the new, who take your pick of all the great female filmmakers that made movies like The Holiday, which I love. You know, where are these filmmakers? Give me something new.
And also, here's a really interesting thing about this that is very confusing to me. It says in the article, which we just read, that they don't even know what this movie is going to be about yet, because they said the goal.
Of course they don't.
The goal. I mean, with Kate Hudson producing, clearly she's all on board to come back. But if the goal, it says in the article, is to get her and Matthew McConaughey back, then that will be the direction of the script. And if they can't get Matthew McConaughey to come back, then they're just going to take the script in a completely different direction. So you don't even know what this movie's going to be. You don't even know. Is this movie a sequel? Is this movie a reboot? Is this movie, Kate Hudson is going to play the mom to a 20-year-old girl who's
That's
now
what I was thinking,
chasing down a Timothy Chalamet or something like that. Like they don't, you're announcing you're moving ahead with this movie. And right now you don't even know what the movie is. Cause you
that
don't
was
know
Star
if you
Wars
have
Episode
McConaughey.
9.
It was, well, at least they thought they knew what it was when they started. I'll at least give them that. They at least thought they knew what it was.
New title for it: How to Lose a Movie Studio in 10 Months.
Yes. Somebody put in the live chat a minute ago, Paramount's motto: how to lose money in a few days. I just look, I'm fine with this if they said yes. Okay. Hudson locked in. Obviously she's a producer on it. McConaughey locked in. We've had this. We've talked about this for years about what would those guys' relationship look like today. And we are now, okay, then you've got a vision for it. They don't even know what this movie is going to be, and they're moving ahead. And man, if that's what we are in for with the future of Paramount, come on, guys. I mean, get this together. But look, it's still Kate Hudson. It's still Matthew McConaughey. Put them on screen. Magic could happen. Maybe this will be great. Whatever you guys think about it, jump down into the comments section below and let us know your thoughts. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Quince. August is a great time to reset a few things before fall gets crazy, and one of the easiest places to start is your closet. That's where Quince comes in. Quince is all about fewer, better pieces made with premium materials that are designed to actually last. We're talking ultra soft organic cotton tees, Mongolian cashmere sweaters, premium denim, and tailored chinos starting at just $60. And here's what really stands out. Quince prices everything 50 to 80% less than similar brands by working directly with ethical factories and cutting out the middlemen. So you end up paying for the quality, not some giant markup. I've already ordered a number of things from their store. As a matter of fact, I love this shirt. It looks great, and most importantly, it's crazy comfortable. Upgrade your everyday. Download the Quince app for app-exclusive offers or go to quince.com/Campea. Get free shippings on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada and the UK too. That's QUINCE.com/Campea.